For us, the biggest challenge is to get that first chance. कि अपने मसाले के डब्बे में अब हमें थोड़ी सी जगह first time you have to give it to us. We know that we are going to win you because we are very confident of our quality. We are very confident of the taste. So we work with the chefs. We take the recipes and then make it into what is available.
Biggest myth about regional Indian cooking?
To be very hard and built on labor. घंटों बैठ के चटनी पीसनी पड़ती है.
One home cuisine product you cook every single week.
So we have something called the Bombay Frankie masala. I think I put it in my paratha. My dadi's poha masala was very famous. I want to learn how to fail, and it took me a while to learn how to fail.
Welcome to eCommerce Talk with WebBee, where we sit down with e-commerce founders and uncover the real stories behind the brands they are building. Today's guest is someone who has lived across the country as an army kid, worked with some of the biggest global brands in e-commerce and digital marketing, and then decided to solve a problem that has been bothering her for years. Why is regional Indian food so underrepresented in a country of 26 states and hundreds of distinct cuisines? She didn't just complain about it, she built a brand around it. She is the founder of Home Kouzina, a homemade masala brand rooted in family recipes, bringing the rarest regional spice blends from across India to your kitchen. No additives, no preservatives, just real food, the way it was always meant to be made. Please welcome Anita to e-commerce Talk with WebBee. So thank you for being here, Anita, and thank you for coming down to our office. Before we start, why don't you have a quick introduction about yourself, your journey, your education, anything you want to mention about yourself to us?
First of all, thank you for having me here. And like you mentioned, I've been an army kid. I've changed schools almost every 2 years through my education. I've lived across the country. From places like Dalhousie in the north to Andaman and Nicobar to, in the last railway head is a place called Tinsukia. I lived a little further ahead of it in a station called Dinjan in Assam. Right. But yeah, so we had an interesting life. We traveled across. My corporate life brought me to Delhi NCR, and my first job was incidentally in Noida, and I started living here in 2005. And over the next few years, I figured I was very disappointed by the food in Delhi NCR. I know you guys have like the best chart and everything. But every time you wanted to eat something regional, or even if you wanted to eat like a thali, it would be the same thing. One dal makhni, one paneer butter masala, one sad looking gulab jamun, roti and chawal, right? And like you said, we have so many states, and within the states, there are different, culinary heritages and recipes, and it was so severely underrepresented. If at that point of time, and I'm from Orissa, I wanted a good Odia meal, I think I would have to invite myself to my relative's house. There was no way I could get that, right? And now think of if you want to try Bangalorean, you want to try Goan, you try all of that. It was literally, and probably still is, virtually impossible to get that food in a city as cosmopolitan as Delhi NCR.
Right.
And that's where kind of the problem started niggling at me, and I wanted to have a go at it and solve it.
So how does a army kid changing place every 2 years related to the food cuisine? I mean,
you try so much different food, right? You're living in different small cantonments across the country. There's a potluck at somebody's house, there's a brunch, there's a dinner. We had a very active social life. So you would try everything. You would try Hyderabadi, Konkani, and even on Diwali, the mithai on somebody's house would be so different from the one at the next door neighbor's house. So it was a close community, but it was also a very diverse community. It was literally,
normally it is said the life is not that social. I mean, you are saying you had a very active social life.
Army life is very social, trust me. I think army kids grow up with a very strong social sense and community and network. You obviously stay friends across the years that you work with, and across the years that you live with. But also it's like you talk to somebody, you're like, are you a Fauji kid? Yeah, and then the network automatically builds, right? So it's a very, very strongly knit community. Yeah,
that's true. And tell me about some of the favorite food you've tried all through your years, like from your childhood.
I think, so my maths teacher, who was also an army wife, so Mrs. Kulkarni, her modaks for Diwali were like amazing. I had a friend who was from Kerala, and the biryani at her house used to be epic, and we had people who were making coconut laddus, rasgullas, all of that. I think I'm a huge foodie. I loved all of it, but all of it was so diverse. It was so different. It was just amazing trying all of it.
And that is reflected in the brands you have at the moment. I mean, that's what I think your niche is, right?
Yeah.
it's not something like North Indian sort of spices or South Indian. You cover the entire India. Like
we like to call ourselves as India's first truly national spice brand, and like you said, we do everything, right? We have a Kashmiri korma, we have a Travancore sambar powder, we have a dabeli, we have Indori jeera one, we have kosha mangsho. So it's diverse in all that we offer, right? There's Goan, which has like 5-6 products, Maharashtrian, all of that, and we're building off that. We really want to represent all the great food and the ingredients and the masalas that exist in Indian kitchens across the country, and that's what Home Kouzina is.
Do you want to actually learn to fail?
I want to learn how to fail, and it took me a while to learn how to fail.
What does it look like? Like, how do we
learn
to fail? Yeah.
Okay, so it is, right? And all of us 90s kids, maybe you're a bit younger. Padho, first out, career banao and everything. There's a certain path that is set for you, right? And you know, I'm good at this, I'm good at this. The first time that you're not good at something, and as an entrepreneur, ऐसी बहुत सी चीजें आएंगी जो you will not be the best at it, you will fail in the first time. Like Home Kouzina, and I'll come to that. This is version 2 of Home Kouzina that we started with, right? So if you're good at everything, you don't know how to react when you're bad at something. You're like, chhod do. Because the first reaction is, I'm not the best at it, let me not do it, right? But two, number one, learn to ask for help, and number two, not judge yourself too harshly. Give yourself second chances.
Right.
So I feel you need to learn how to lose a little bit.
How does it look like? Maybe in your life or someone else's life?
For me?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, when we started Home Kouzina, we started this as an aggregator place for marketplaces. I was coming with this diverse experience in social media, marketing, digital. I thought I knew it all. I'd worked in the food industry with some of the largest brands. So we started as an aggregator. On paper, the plan was great, everything. And then we ran into so many operational challenges, right? And I thought I had a good problem, right? Where is the good regional Indian cuisine going to come from? We're going to source it from home chefs, and we're going to give it to people across the country. But we really struggled with last mile delivery. Maybe it was a little bit before our time. So when we had to shut down that version, I was like, I'm going to go make my resume, go back to what I'm good at, will earn a steady salary. But at that point, you know, having conversations with friends and having colleagues, they're like, but you know what, you still haven't solved the problem. The question is right. The question that food is underrepresented across is correct. Maybe you were looking at the wrong answer. And that's when we kind of pivoted into the right answers, probably to actually find the masala dabbas from across India and then make that available to people versus the actual
So what did you learn? I mean, asking the right question, getting the right answer, like what is the learning you would want to advise?
The learning is that...
And how do we inculcate that learning, like in our own life?
I think there's this phrase I read somewhere at that point. It said, strong opinions loosely held.
Okay.
So I had a very strong opinion about the fact that the food here was very disappointing, or the food across India was very disappointing, strong opinion. But I had to be loose about the answer that I had, right? You've always been right about the answers, and you said, maybe the answer is not right. How easily do you let go of it? Find something else. Your problem statement is correct. Maybe the answer, but so you have to have a strong opinion.
So what did you let go?
But also let it go. I let go of the entire model of the aggregator piece, shut it down.
Yeah, that is very important. For example, I am also a tech founder, and I like to like to do code. I mean, I've started doing it after such a long time, but still, you may be the best of it, but this is not what the business wants. Business want you showing up as a leader, you showing up new ideas.
So for us, it was like and you had to decide what to focus on, right? So then, which is why we broke it down into phases. Okay, first step is sourcing these recipes, finding the ingredients, learning a lot about sourcing and the processes. So that took us about the first few years. First year was mostly that. Growing on Shopify, testing consumers, and there was. I used to call almost every third, fourth consumer. Why did you buy this? You had an abandoned checkout. Why did you do all of them? We're trying to find out. Right? What did you like? What did you not like? Learning a lot of that, talking personally to consumers, handling customer queries. And also when you're very small, people don't trust you. They really do want to talk to someone. So I had to put myself out there. And so once we knew that we had a strong product, which had a strong demand, is when we started growing. So then it was like you're trying to put yourself on marketplaces, quick commerce, B2B. It's then the pipeline starts coming, and I realized if as a founder I had been stuck to कि नहीं digital तो मैं ही करूँगी, I would have not had the time or the mind space to look at all these other avenues which also need as much and probably more attention.
Right, and also mentioned regarding, I mean, you also mentioned what is the biggest challenge, opportunity. You mentioned like having people to try new things. if you can say?
So see, when you're talking masalas,
Uh-huh.
masalas is a very boring category if you look at
Boring,
it.
I mean, it was spices, है ना?
नहीं,
Chili
फैशन पे
ऐसा,
people are excited,
Uh-huh.
कुछ नया है, सेलिब्रिटीज आ रहे हैं,
हाँ.
फैशन वीक हो रहा है, स्पोर्ट्स इज एक्साइटिंग.
Is there, yeah. There's no
Masala
innovation,
is-
ऐसा कुछ है क्या?
नहीं, मसाला इज मसाला,
Masala, हाँ.
right? And it's been a legacy brand market for a very long time.
Uh-huh.
So it's like कि वही असली मसाले सच and everything, right? So you people get away with. People have not thought. There's not much thought.
Maybe the
but
marketing around it is also like to make it purposefully make it boring.
No.
So
it's
people
not
stick to the
purpose.
legacy.
नहीं,
brand,
I
yeah.
think it's interesting. It's a boring category. मतलब
हाँ.
कोई सुबह उठ के नहीं बोलता आज मेरे नए मसाले आएंगे.
हाँ.
You say I get a new shirt today, I get new running shoes today.
But I like eat good food today.
But it's a very high involvement category.
Yeah.
कि खाना अच्छा है या नहीं will set your mood for
Yeah.
the day, right?
Yeah.
जिसने खाया, जिसने बनाया, so it will set. So it's high involvement that way, but it's not very high exciting at the time of purchase. So for us, and we know our products are good. They are really good, and you have to try them once because we know our repeat rate is nearing close to
Yeah.
30%, right, for a small brand. So we just for us the biggest challenge is to get that first chance to कि अपने मसाले के डब्बे में आप हमें थोड़ी सी जगह first time you have to give it to us, and then we know that we are going to win you over because we are very confident of our quality, we are very confident of the taste that we do. We also know that there are not many people who are doing so much of a breadth and depth as we are doing, right? So that's the
Right.
one challenge that we focus on.
And how do you generally tackle it?
So getting people through, so we want to be where the consumer is. Obviously we started with our own .com because that was a learning phrase. But across the current convenience economy, so we are now on quick commerce platforms, we are on Swiggy, Instamart, we are on Blinkit, we are of course on regular marketplaces. There's Amazon, there is Flipkart, and one partnership we're very proud of is there's a brand called First Club in Bangalore. So they have a list of, they are quick commerce, but they have a list of 300 or so ingredients which are banned.
Banned.
If you have that ingredient, you cannot be on First Club. And we were one of the first few brands that signed up with First Club.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's how we get to the consumer, the discerning consumer, and the one who wants convenience.
Right.
We are available at either point.
So you do on your .com, you have a quick com presence, you also do a marketplace, and you do offline also, like some you were mentioning.
We are present with one of the larger modern convenience stores across NCR, but we haven't really pushed offline.
And you
as
also
much.
mentioned like club, like what curry club? What's you mentioning?
Also, we do a lot of offline events and partnerships. We do a lot of supper clubs across
Supper clubs,
cities. Supper clubs are quite the rage right now because again there are consumers who are interested in different food, interesting food, regional food. And so we partner with a lot of supper club creators across. We've done these in NCR, Bombay, Bangalore, Kolkata, Pune, Chandigarh, a lot of these towns, and where we are part of the chef's pantry. The chef cooks with our food, consumer gets to try it.
Right.
We also give them samples, we give them an opportunity to buy our product. So
that's great. Why I was wanted to deepen more on this, like what are the other options if a new founder or someone who's trying to be different options, like are there other like venues, offline
there
events,
are plenty
sponsorship you
actually,
mentioned,
I think depending on categories. So I think number one, you have a small budget, right? So and you have to find people who meet your niche, who look at doing similar events and experiences. People also are seeking experiences, right? थोड़ी बोरियत हो गई है Instagram reels scroll कर करके. So you want an experience, you want to go to something that you can talk to people, and I'm sure across category there are a lot of these things that you can find out. For us, supper clubs have been one. I feel there's some merit in cookbooks and things like that around food. So we would rather do a lot of those partnerships going forward.
Right, that's great. So can you deepen this category as a whole? Like how does the category look like? I think it's more predominantly dominated by some big players, and then
so the food category per se is very busy. It's cluttered, but of course there are larger players who've been there forever. So there are a lot of interesting things happening in the ready-to-eat category, in the spices category, convenience and all of that. So there's enough and more room for everybody to grow. Some are playing on convenience, some are playing on ready-to-eat pastes and stuff like that. So it's that. Or there's people who are doing regional specifics. I know there are brands who do only Maharashtrian, who will do only Andhra, who will only do specific. But there is enough and more play and interest in the category.
Right. And tell me about like the area source from, like you also mentioned this is your specialty, right?
So two things when we do our sourcing. One, we don't source powders. So we get like Lakadong turmeric from Meghalaya. You get the whole root. There's a whole process of getting it dried down to a powder. So powder nahi khareedte. We buy the raw material. We'll buy whole Bedgi chilies. We'll buy whole Guntur chilies, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh. We get a lot of our spices from Kerala. Again, whole spices.
Right.
Then we go through the process of cleaning, roasting, sun drying, and all of that, and getting them into masalas.
And what benefit do you get? It increases the cost, is it? Or reduces it?
It increases the cost. I could do it much cheaper. The benefit, I think, is for the consumer, because when you have the flavor and the fragrance, we also source a lot of little known spices which you will not find a lot of mainstream brands doing, right? Like if you speak to a Bengali household, typically there's something called radhuni, which is wild celery. वो आधे लोगों को पता नहीं होता और आधी जगह मिलता नहीं है. In fact, even in most commercial panch phoron, which is like the tadka for east of India, people have replaced mustard with radhuni because it's hard. But we go and find those. In our Maharashtrian masalas, we use things like dagad phool, nag kesar. When we do Kolkata biryani, there's a thing called long pipri, which is a very specific product, so which gives that specific flavor. So ये सस्ता नहीं है. It does not make it cheaper for us, but it makes it truer to the regional taste differences, and that's why it tastes different from each other.
Right. And also mention about you also mentioned regarding the recipe of the chef. I mean, you have some.
So our tagline is family recipes from home chefs, and I'll tell you why. Because when we start with a recipe, everybody can go chat GPT a recipe and make it.
That's normal. I mean,
that is the easiest way to do it. No, a lot of our recipes come from people who've had this in their family. Like my dadi's poha masala was very famous, or my dadi's, ghee roast was very famous. My mother makes this great, or my father makes something really good. So we work with the chefs. We take the recipes and then make it into what is available across, which basically means कि जैसे घर में बनता है, so I will not put fillers, I will not put colors, I will not put stabilizers or any of those, right? So when you're trying to explain it to anybody who comes on the team, we say कि अगर तुम्हारी मम्मी पापा दादा चाची किसी को ये ingredient बता नहीं ना, तो वो डलेगा नहीं. So we will not put things which are like fillers and वो permissible additives, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. So which is why one example I'll give you is it took us our pav bhaji masala, we got the flavor perfect, but सबको वो commercial लाल की आदत होगी. So it took us a really long time to find the right kind of mirchi which would give that color but not the heat, so to get it right. So we'll find natural alternatives because पुराने में ऐसे ही होता था.
And is it easy to get the natural alternatives?
Now it is easier for us. Initially we did struggle because we didn't know how and where to go looking, but now we do because we've got the relationships with the producers, with the farming communities, so it's not easy. Also because these are commodities which have seasonality, ki barish ho gayi, kharab ho gaya, heat, all of that. So you have to plan in advance, look at all of that. So it's a whole other process which our production team looks into.
So tell us about how does the research, innovation, anything you would mention? I mean, why I'm asking, because you said it's a boring category.
For a customer, it's boring. For me, it is very exciting. It's my life's work now. So it's not as boring. For the consumers, it's not.
What is innovation here? Like, what is new? I mean, you mentioned like
I think,
recipe.
See, there are two ways you can do. You can make it what do you call, like ready-made pastes, etc. and all of that. For us, innovation is actually taking something which has been there in your traditional masala dabbas and making it commercially available to cooks and consumers across the country. And that also takes innovation, because how do you maintain the flavor, how do you maintain the taste, the colors without compromising by adding shortcuts. So I think that takes a lot of innovation and attention from us.
And it involves research also, is it? Sourcing research and whatever?
A lot of it, even from the, and I'll also tell you, India mein recipe, unlike Europe and all, ऐसे नहीं होता 2 tablespoons of this. थोड़ी सी इलायची डाल दो, थोड़ा सा जब खुशबू आएगी, then you do it, right? So it's not very specific. But to be able to translate that to make it in larger batches, then that's a lot of testing back and forth. So
Tell us about the content you create for your marketing and some of the
A
effort you did?
lot of our so there are two parts of marketing. We
Yeah.
actually do. We have signed on a new partner very recently. They're
Uh-huh.
called the Voice Company guys, and they're like really good in terms of. So we have 3-4 pillars of content. One is obviously a lot of user-generated content with creators, which we again have a whole strategy around that. But user-generated content with creators, largely focused on recipes and how do you make it, because when you see it, it feels like easy proof that I can also do it. We do have some amount, and then we focus on a lot of food history, educating people about food. My product is not on that content. You will not see the product. We'll probably see the brand somewhere because it's a watermark thing. And that has really resonated with people, right? Like a lot of people, I think one of our most successful posts, which had like over 1 million views, was a carousel about the history of tea in India. We were not a chai drinking country. The reason and why it got through with the Britishers, etc., how tea breaks were encouraged, and then India made its mind by adding, made it its own by adding, things like milk and all of that. So those food history posts do really, really well with us, and we do want to, educate people on all of this. So that works for us. And the third pillar is, of course, a lot of founder-led content, which you will see me talking.
Great. So one is the content you create, and which are the channels you like? Where do you post those content?
Mostly on our meta platforms, that's Instagram and Facebook, and then we have a YouTube channel where you can find long format of recipes.
Right, great. And how does your marketing or sales look like or typical day-to-day marketing activities? What do you do, day-to-day or weekly or?
I think a lot of it goes on just the digital platforms, but we do events and pop-ups at least 1 or 2 a quarter. So that's where you'll find us offline.
Great.
We have not done pop-ups, very many of them. In fact, we've done only one, and that too at the Meta office, but we're trying to get into that space too.
And how does the future of this industry looks like to you? Is it exciting?
I think it's definitely exciting. It's kind of reaching a tipping point, because with Q-commerce, people are willing to try a lot of new stuff, right? And at the same time, there has been social media which has fed this curiosity of kuch naya try karte hain. Have you heard about this? A lot of regional dishes getting rediscovered. I think thecha had a moment. Everybody was making thecha something, right? So there is a lot of curiosity which is getting fed into it. So I feel it's going to be exciting, and if a brand finds the right window in, it's great.
Great. And tell us about your future plans. Like you call Home Kouzina your India's first truly national spice brand by product offering. How do you want to bring this claim to a next level? Like,
I think we are very national by our portfolio. We also want to be truly national by distribution and access.
Right.
So that's going to be the next part of the journey, as we make it very, very easy for consumers to find us.
And is it more like distribution over tier 1, tier 2? Like what?
We are still a very largely tier 1 brand, and we'll continue to obviously build on tier 2 with. And I don't like the word tier 1, tier 2. Large cities, smaller cities. Who decided they are in tiers, right? So
why do you don't like it? I mean, people do this classification every now and then.
It feels a little putting down. I come from I come from a very small town in Orissa. I'm not even from Bhubaneswar. I'm from Anugul. Even smaller place called Atmalik. I would be like tier 5 in your list, right? But so
it's not my list.
In the general list. I know it's not yours. And so it's smaller towns, etc. And some of these smaller towns have a lot of spending capacity.
Right.
They are people who are genuinely wanting access to something interesting and innovative. So that's so. Of course, we want to grow our markets. Yes, we've been concentrated largely on metros. Mostly, I feel, because that's how your meta ad distribution works, right? It goes towards the tier 1 cities, or so-called first. But so that's where we are. And then exports, if we get all our clearances and everything in time, yes, please, because there's enough Indian diaspora outside of the country that should get a taste of this versus packing the suitcases of masalas and taking.
Right, great. And I mean, this space is actually has a lot of legacy, large players. I mean, any challenges you find it competing with them?
See, I think, like I said, it's just getting the first chance in. And people are willing to try something new. I still want to try something new across, a lot of brands that we are wearing, touching every day did not even exist in public conscience about 10 years ago. So
that's right.
It's completely doable.
And where do you want Home Kouzina to be there after 5 years, after 10 years?
After 5 or 10 years, I think we should probably be the default setting when people go and order something, and
Right.
I just want that right away.
And you also want to export like for the Indian diaspora?
Yeah, we do want to export to the Indian diaspora across, because if we feel that the choices in India are limited, the choices outside of India are super limited.
Right.
And if you find something that tastes like home when you're away from it, or I don't even taste like home, it's like a memory of home, right? When you eat something and you feel you go back to a time and place, I would want to be that brand
Yeah,
for you.
and having done such a lot of things in terms of like having such a wide variety of SKUs, I think you're 55 or 57 you mentioned.
Yeah.
And
close to that.
also like so many channels you serve on, and then pop up also. Is there any down moment, anything you would want to mention, anything? You also pivoted also recently, like 2 years ago.
Yeah, so I think that was our big pivot. We've had small pivots also. So we did something in the ready-to-eat category for a bit. I think we've tried many things. We've tried pickles, we've tried festive, all of that has worked.
Right.
We did ready-to-eat. I feel it was too early for us as a brand to get into that category. And also it had a certain seasonality which we had not really understood. So we had a product which is ready, which I probably feel will be great when we get into the exports market. But for now, but it was quick. So, but at least we got the recipe right, we got the process right, we got the costings right. Maybe
any regrets, anything you're grateful for, anything you want to mention?
Not really. I can't think of any regrets. Stuck to it for this long.
Right, great. So thank you for being here. So, in our last final round of rapid fire questions, if you allow me.
Okay.
One regional dish most people in Delhi have never heard of, but absolutely should try.
Can I give you 2?
Yeah, please.
So one, I think if you eat non-vegetarian and you're in Delhi, you should try non-vegetarian food with dosa. Ghee roast and dosa, you are never going back to anything other. People believe that, dosa is always with sambar and chutney. But you go to a truly South Indian household, you have it with everything, including non-vegetarian food, and it tastes brilliant because it soaks up the juices. The second, because I'm from Odisha, and no, we don't sell any of those products, but pakhal bhat, which is basically fermented rice. You have it in summer, it's cold, and you eat it and you go for a 3 to 4 hour nap. I'm telling you, the summer road rage in Delhi will come down if people start having pakhal bhat every afternoon.
Yeah. And why so? Because
it's just, okay, how do I tell you? It's a feeling. You eat it and you're knocked out for 3 hours. फिर आप सोते हो. फिर आप उठते हो, जिंदगी बहुत हसीन लगती है. So it's very calming. It's actually in the heat. It's very calming and it's cool. So yeah.
Great. So Blinkit, Amazon, or your own website. Pick one forever.
Own website.
Own website. Why?
Better margins for me, more choice for the consumer.
And it looks like our own something we have built.
It's something you own and something you built.
Great. The most underrated masala in an Indian kitchen.
The most underrated masala in Indian kitchen would be. I'll have to think a little bit on that one. I think it's the lal mirch that you're buying.
And why so?
Because mirch is not mirch. There's mirch for color, there's mirch for heat, there is tikha mirch, there's difference. It's not just one thing, right? So it could make or break a dish.
Right. One word to describe the Indian food industry right now.
Busy and exciting.
Great. But these are 2 words.
3. Busy and exciting. Spicy.
Spicy, great. So biggest myth about regional Indian cooking. Biggest myth.
The biggest myth about Indian regional cooking is that it has to be very hard and built on labor and घंटों बैठ के चटनी पीसनी पड़ती है and all of that. ऐसा नहीं है और ऐसा होना भी नहीं चाहिए. If we can build convenience into our everyday shopping, into our everyday living, why cannot we build convenience into
Asian cooking also?
Somebody tells you that you coded in 1 day versus 1 hour, मतलब नहीं तुम्हें और time लगाना चाहिए था. Same thing, great food can come with minimal hours if you can build that convenience, because everything has moved to that, right? There is, I think, I don't know, how do you say that कि हम इसको hard labor does not equal great taste. Great ingredients probably equal great taste.
Great. Founder life in one word.
Oh, it's a seesaw. Better mostly upswing.
Great. A roller coaster.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster, not a seesaw, but it's mostly on the upswing.
Great. One Home Kouzina product you cook every single week.
Can I tell you one masala which I use every? So we have something called the Bombay Frankie masala. I think I put it in my paratha. I put it in whatever I'm making. I'll probably just use it like that, and I also use it to make Frankies. So it's like an eternal use.
Great. So that's the all questions I have. Hope you liked it.
Thank you so much. I had fun and it's like cool to do.
Great. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, Anita.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
If you like this podcast and you want similar podcasts to be created by us, please do like, share and subscribe and build a voice around this podcast.